Greetings all, my name is Dominick from the Comic Book Report YouTube channel, doing another guest review here for organicpricedbooks.com. And today I'm delighted to share a quick overview of the House of M Omnibus from Brian Michael Bendis. House of M was a hit 2005 Marvel event and one of my personal favorite Marvel Comics events of all time. Imagine my joy when I heard that Marvel had solicited an omnibus collecting not only the incredible event, but all of its tie-ins. This incredible 1,368-page megatome is a welcome addition to this collector's bookcase, and it gives me a lot of hope that one day we might see Marvel Civil War omnibuses. While we're taking a look at this Marvel omnibus, I will say that this is the standard edition cover available for this omnibus. I will go ahead and throw up a quick pic of the direct market DM variant cover as well, so you can compare the options available for this book. In my opinion, both covers are absolutely stunning. I think with the direct market, you get a full kind of page illustration. The standard edition that I have here, it's kind of a small, almost widescreen looking image with all the people across the middle of the book, but I think both are absolutely wonderful. I love the red of the standard edition. Either way, just an incredible collection. I will say as well, for the standard, you have Magneto on the spine. I believe Professor Xavier is on the direct market spine. Both a really great look. And then we'll go ahead and transition to the back cover of this omnibus that includes what the omnibus is about, the contents, some brief pricing information, all of that. And of course, we're treated to that iconic Scarlet Witch image on the back cover. This is one of my most evocative images from the entire House of M series. I love this depiction of Scarlet Witch, just incredible. And now I'll go ahead and take a moment to look at that dust jacket in a little bit of a closer detail. I'll remove it from the hardback itself so we can go ahead and see the full dust jacket, the flaps, things like that, before transitioning to the under the dust jacket artwork that's on the hardback itself, the kind of printed image of the entire House of Magnus within that House of M universe. A very striking print. I think the art and the cover layouts for this book were well done. It really just made me so eager to dive into this collection and to read all about the House of M. As I mentioned, here is the entire House of Magnus, as we see on the actual hardback print here in that blood red with the black ink. I really just think that this is a striking image. It really just whets my appetite for this book. Really well done. I love what they chose for the under the dust jacket artwork. Really nice feature that Marvel and DC have been doing lately. Love all the under the dust jacket stuff we've been seeing. And with all the exterior work out of the way, I can go ahead and transition to give you a quick look at the binding for this omnibus. If you're anything like me, when you hear that there's an almost 1,400 page count for this book, you might be a little nervous, but I'm happy to report that the binding I've seen, at least within my copy, was really, really well done. It is a sewn binding with a nice eye there. I actually didn't think the gutter loss was too bad at all in this collection personally. Overall, really securely bound for a collection this huge. I think they're really starting to break into how to make these omnibuses pretty sound as far as binding goes with collections this big. No complaints here from me on the binding. And now we can go ahead and dive into the collection proper, and I'd like to take a quick moment to just say what is included with this omnibus. The House of M omnibus includes House of M issues 1 through 8, Spider-Man House of M issues 1 through 5, Fantastic Four House of M issues 1 through 3, Iron Man House of M issues 1 through 3, New Thunderbolts 11, Black Panther 7, Uncanny X-Men 462 through 465, Wolverine issue 33 through 35, Captain America issue 10, Pulse issue 10, Cable and Deadpool issue 17, Incredible Hulk issues 83 through 87, New X-Men issues 16 through 19, Exiles issues 69 through 71, Mutopia X issues 1 through 5, Decimation House of M the day after, Giant Size Miss Marvel number 1, Secrets of House of M, Pulse House of M Special, House of M number 1 Director's Cut, House of M Sketchbook, and material from Hulk Broken Worlds Book 1. Wow, what a mouthful, am I right? But that explains why this book is almost 1,400 pages. As far as what House of M is about, that 8-part miniseries is really the crux and the entire point of this omnibus. That is the main focus, and that's how this collection starts. After you read those 8 issues, you go into all of the various mini-series the day after, things like that. So how this omnibus is mapped, I think is really the only logical way it could have been mapped. You start with the mini-series, and then we just jump around to all of the different tie-ins from all of these different books, but it reads pretty well. The idea is, like the Age of Apocalypse, the House of M was the dominating main universe for the Marvel 616 universe. It was completely taken over for this event, so we get to see a look at what happened to all of these other characters when the main 616 Marvel universe became the House of M universe. Why I like the way this event was treated, unlike some events that have a bunch of tie-ins that occur in the middle of the actual event itself, this event, it stands alone as an 8-issue series, and all the other tie-ins just kind of happen within the universe of the House of M. But they don't really necessarily impact the main miniseries itself, and I think that overall this collection is much, much better for that. So you can enjoy the first 8 issues as the actual event of what happens, the main narrative arc from Bendis that really defines the House of M and what that means and what happens, the whole context of the event. And then you can enjoy all of the other tie-ins as just little snapshots and storylines from this alternate version of the Marvel Universe. And I liked that. It can feel so separate, though, in that some of the tie-ins felt like absolutely I believe that this could have happened to these characters in the world of House of M, and others are a little bit stranger. Like, I think that the Spider-Man story that I believe was written by Mark Waid within the House of M universe doesn't even feel like the House of M Spider-Man we get in the main miniseries from Bendis, but is more of like a side Elseworlds what-if kind of adventure with a very bizarre, different parallel universe version of Spider-Man. So it's kind of a mix and match grab bag within this series. I think all the stories were really fun. I felt like I didn't need a ton of prior reading for even some of the titles that I didn't know much about. I think I was able to dive right in, enjoy this kind of weird Twilight Zone-y parallel universe version of all of these different characters and their stories and misadventures. And overall, I think we're given a pretty strong product here. As far as when House of M takes place, like I mentioned, this is a 2005 Marvel Comics event, so this occurs pretty directly after Avengers Disassembled and is right around that New Avengers Bendis era. And while I do think Avengers Disassembled and some of the early Bendis New Avengers run would probably be great reads to read prior to diving into this omnibus, I personally don't think that they are required reading. I think that this book fills you in on everything you need to. Essentially, you start off and Scarlet Witch's powers are overhauled. She's just done some pretty traumatic stuff during the Avengers Disassembled storyline, and basically both the X-Men and Avengers are trying to decide the fate of the Scarlet Witch and what happens next. In the first issue of House of M, we basically have the X-Men and Avengers kind of going to confront Scarlet Witch on what's going to happen, and then there's this blinding white light, and the next thing you know, the universe is this alternate universe where, unlike the normal 616 Marvel universe, where mutants are kind of the minority downtrodden class that are kind of the victims of racism and just all of this junk, they are actually the dominant species on Earth, making the Homo sapiens sort of the, next to extinction and the lower class kind of, and basically the House of Magnus, the House of M, Magneto's whole family is sort of running the world. The adventure we see within these pages is super interesting. Basically, the entire X-Men Avengers, they have no knowledge of their world prior to the events of House of M. This is just the world they know. The only kind of caveat to that basically is Wolverine and this young girl named Layla, who basically remember the world as it ought to be, and eventually more heroes, villains, everyone kind of gets pulled into this conspiracy on what happened. The world's not supposed to be this way. This must be Magneto. We got to take this down. Let's fight. Let's go. Let's take this fight to the House of M. There are a ton of twists and turns to this storyline, but that is the brief synopsis of what you can expect for House of M, the kind of setup for it. Like I said, it's a really well-paced story and one of my favorite Marvel events of all time. After that, again, we have all of those tie-ins from the House of M universe with like Spider-Man and all of the different X-Men teams, the Thunderbolts. We have a Black Panther issue, Captain America issue. We also have Decimation the day after House of M, which is kind of a cool epilogue and kind of the setup for what happens next post House of M era. I love that they included that issue in this collection as well. We have the kind of issue of Pulse, which is sort of this funny newspaper from the House of M, as I guess how I would describe it, with all these little articles that kind of spin out some of the different characters and happenings within the world of House of M, and some of those in the newspaper issue kind of map to some of the different miniseries and tie-ins we see, which I think was really creative as well. But overall, just a really striking event. I think the main seller for this collection by far is the main 8-issue event that starts off this omnibus. To get it in oversized hardcover format is an absolute dream, and it really holds up upon reread, initial read, what have you. House of M is an absolute incredible read, and some of the tie-ins were surprisingly great, a handful of which I had read before, and some I had never read before getting this omnibus for myself. I think some surprisingly effective and great storylines that I really enjoyed reading for the first time in this omnibus were things like the Incredible Hulk. I thought all of his issues were phenomenal, and there were some fun twists about what happens to him in this House of M universe. I thought the standalone kind of House of M Spider-Man story they had going on, while it doesn't feel overly connected to House of M, it is a very strange, out there, just take on Spider-Man, and I liked seeing that in a kind of what-if context almost. Very fun. They have the Cable and Deadpool issue. I love that series. I know that's getting an omnibus reprint pretty soon, but I love the issue they have with that and Mr. Sinister within the House of M. Very fun issue as well. Like I said, there's so much to enjoy. I think that people that love House of M will be tickled to read some of the tie-in issues, and for some people that just like a handful of the Marvel Universe, this is such a unique snapshot of a place and time, all tied into this incredible event. I think that this was an absolute page-turner. I really enjoyed this book, and I would highly recommend it to any Marvel comic fans out there, or for any greater comic fan in general. I think House of M is a must-read comic event. Toward the back of the book as well, we have a glut of extras. I love seeing all the special edition House of M stuff. We get a sketchbook, variant cover art. We get all of these character bios within House of M, which is a ton of fun. Like I said, we get miscellaneous art, sketchworks, interviews, things like that. So fans of extras and just the bonus features at the back of some of these omnibuses, you're in for a real treat. There is a great amount at the back of this House of M omnibus, and that really rounds out the collection overall. Like I said, great binding, great mapping, great content, and one of the most premier Marvel events of all time. Don't forget to pick up your copy from organicpricedbooks.com, and for more reviews like this, please check out my channel, The Comic Book Report. I'll probably do a full review of this book sometime in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for stopping by.